Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here at Plan with Elise, and today we are starting a week-long video where I'm going to take you along with me each morning, Monday through Thursday, as I fill out my planner. I'll probably come back to this on like Monday, because I got home from Chicago on Sunday night, so I'm in Chicago from Thursday night to Sunday night, and then I'll probably come back and do a little bit of backfilling. But one of the things that I want to do when I first set up these pages, I did not do anything in the sidebar, and I've got a lot going on this week and a lot of things that I'm committed. I was just taking a shower and talking to myself in the shower in my head and saying that I really need to commit to getting certain things done this week. Unfortunately, I'm trying to grab something. Unfortunately, last week I ended up getting a migraine that was one of the worst I've had in years. And it really impacted my ability to get a lot done. I had the migraine on Thursday and didn't get anything done. Friday, I had one project I had to do, but the rest of the day I just spent on the couch. It was like a full migraine hangover day. And then the weekend, we had some plans, but I was also still kind of not feeling very energized. So now that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 4 days that I didn't get anything done. The good news is I was pretty ahead on my YouTube videos. I'm not as concerned right now about my content because I'm quite ahead on my content. What I am concerned about is feeling behind in a lot of other areas. And a huge part of that is around the house. I've really let things kind of pile up in certain rooms. Like, for example, we got home from New Hampshire a week ago yesterday, and I still haven't unpacked my stuff from New Hampshire. And like, it's been sitting in my bedroom for a week. So it's things like that. It's the releases that I have that are in my office. It's the boxes of new releases that are sitting outside of my office because I didn't want to bring them in yet. So there's really just a lot of like cleanup and things like that to do. So I really wanted to put a list down here of everything major that I want to do this week and then figure out a way to sort of filter that into each day. So one thing I really need to do this week is go to the bank. So I'm going to write that here because I keep forgetting. When we had our engagement party, we received some very generous gifts in both check and cash form, and the cash we still haven't deposited into the bank, and we need to because we need to use it to start to pay for some of the vendors that we were booking. Yesterday, we booked a photographer and videographer, so I'm really excited about that. The next thing is I'm going to write clean bedroom. And then I'm going to shift through certain categories of my office. So I'm going to write work desk. I have 2 desks. One is for my regular job. One is for my Plan with Elise, so filming desk, which we're at now. Put away. I'm just going to abbreviate this to NR, new releases that have launched over the last couple of weeks that I haven't put away yet. So they're taking up a lot of room. So I'm just kind of looking around and seeing where we're at. I think that that'll be a good start for there. So I don't want to totally overwhelm myself and do more than I think I can. Today we're going to write Patreon. The first Monday of the month is usually one of my favorite Mondays of the month because it's Patreon budget Zoom. Just do a little fun lettering here. Budget Zoom. 8 p.m. And then I'm also, going to just draw a little dash line to kind of make this box multi-purpose. And here I'm going to write payday. I also really like the first payday of the month because I feel like it's when I can reconcile my budget. now that everything has cleared. Like last week's payday was my payday that I used to pay the mortgage and all of the big bills. And now that those have all cleared from my bank, I can like take a look and see where we're at with things. Okay, so that's one of the things we're going to write here for today. Update budget. I'm also going to start to pull some things over. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to the bank today. I slept in a little bit this morning. Right now it's about 8 o'clock. Normally when I'm up at 7:30, that's when I start to film in the morning. And if I don't end up filming this morning besides this video, then my lunch break may be filming. I could always go to the bank right after work. You know what? Let's do it. I said I'm going to commit to it this week. I'm going to commit to myself this week. So we're going to do that. Okay, I also want to do both of my desks today. So let's do work, desk, and filming, desk. So I've kind of now categorized like financial, home, wedding, home, but also kind of plan with Elise. And we're going to toss in one video. So I have one more video to film for this week. It's going to be for Plannything. So let's write that down. And then I feel like we need to have one more thing. You know what I'm really trying to focus on this week, or not this week, this month, is gratitude journaling. And so I may put that as another to-do, but I also don't really want to just fill the to-do just to have it. I know there's going to be something else that's going to come up at some point today. So we're going to save that and kind of put it in there. Regarding plans for the rest of the week, nothing's going on tomorrow night that I'm aware of anyway. Wednesday, I have an appointment during my lunch break. Thursday, our flight is at 7:29. So we are leaving at like 5 o'clock on the dot the moment we both finish work and then heading to Chicago. So because I have most of Thursday to get things done, I am good where we're at. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to empty the dishwasher. We ran the dishwasher last night and I know I'm going to forget until I go downstairs. So I'm just going to write that here. Other things I want to do this week before we leave on Thursday, I want to wash and change our bedding. I really like to do that before we go away. So we come home to clean clothes and then doing my laundry. When I pack to go away, I really want to have every item I own clean except for what I'm wearing at the time. So I'll probably do laundry on Wednesday so that when I pack on Thursday, I have kind of that stuff to choose from. So I think that's a good start. Let's see what time it is so I can kind of make a game plan for myself this morning. My computer is not. Okay, it's 8:16 right now. So I am going to close this. I'm going to work on my budget real quick. And then I'm going to go in and clean my bedroom. I think that'll be enough before I hit 9 o'clock. So I'm ready for a good week. I'm hopeful that we can make it happen. It is Tuesday morning and okay, let me say first, I love doing an after the pen video. I feel like it holds me more accountable than any other time because yesterday there were so many points throughout the day that I was like, no, I need to do this because I've committed to myself and I've committed to those watching the video that I'm going to get it done. So I want to talk a little bit about what's not checked off from yesterday, which is go to the bank, work desk, and filming desk. I didn't realize that my bank closes at 5 p.m. So after work, I quickly thought of it and looked up the bank hours and they close at 5. I finished work at 5. It's like, well, I can't go to the bank. So what I did was I set a 30-minute timer because I figured that's about how long it all would have taken me with traffic and everything. And I cleaned around the house. So I had already done my bedroom, but I did other areas of the home that probably would have been on today's list. The other thing was I did clean both of my desks yesterday, but due to other filming, they're a mess again. So I'm not checking them off yet because they're not clean yet because it didn't last 24 hours. So I'm a little annoyed at myself about that, the fact that I'm not staying on top of what I need to stay on top of, which probably means I didn't clean them properly. I just kind of moved stuff. So we're going to work on that a bit today. So today, during my lunch break, I want to go vote. It is election day. And then I want to go to the bank. I'm hoping that during my lunch, the line at the polling place won't be too long. It's really the only time I can go today. I will make it happen. If I go and it's more than an hour wait, I will text my boss and say I'm voting, because I'm not willing to not vote. So anyway, that's what's there. We're going to come back to cleaning. So I will actually say my work desk is fine. My work desk is clean. It's my filming desk that got kind of crazy. So I'm going to write filming desk. And then a huge part of what's happening in my office right now is that there's been so many launches and I need to put them away. So I'm going to write put away releases. And then I'm also going to write put away stickers, because there's a lot of sticker books that I've used and then my desk gets piled up with sticker books. So I need to just put things away is really where we have to be. The next thing I'm going to write down here, take out trash. And then over here, I need to write defrost meat, because I think I'm going to make tacos for dinner tonight, or fajitas. I'm not sure yet. I have to look in our freezer and see what we have more of. I'm leaning towards tacos because I feel like there's only certain dishes I make with ground beef, but there's a lot of dishes that I make with chicken. So I almost want to use the ground beef for tacos, because the chicken can be used for so many other things. But I kind of want fajitas tonight. My friend was telling me she had fajitas for dinner last night, and now it's all I can think about. That's what happens with me and Mexican food. It's literally the only type of food that I hear about the food and I need to eat it. Okay. Tonight I am supposed to have a meeting with a planner company. However, if for some reason this voting during my lunch break becomes a problem, I'm going to skip that meeting. I'm going to leave the moment work ends, try to go vote. I just feel like it's going to be less of a line during my lunch break than it will be after work, but I have until 8 p.m. So I'm not going to write anything in here yet. I do think I may throw in laundry. I did film another video this morning already, so it's probably like 8:50 now. I'm about to start work, but I'm thinking that I may put laundry in. It's 8:51 to be exact. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by the shortness of the week and how much I want to get done. I really lost a lot of time over the weekend not feeling well. And the thing is, besides voting, nothing on here is 100% a must do. And I have to remind myself of that, because what I'm feeling overwhelmed by is what I've put on my plate. However, there are certain things that we must do for our mental health. And part of that for me is cleaning and getting my office organized. So I feel like that's a must do for my health. And it's really why I want to prioritize. For Plan with Elise, I have 2 videos that I would like to film before Thursday, and they are custom Patreon spreads. I'd really like to be finished with the spreads before I go away. However, it may not be possible. At the very least, I would like 2 out of 4 of those done, because 2 of the spreads are for people who are going to be at the conference and I can hand them the spreads. But it's also like, that means I need to travel with them. That means they need to travel with them. So now thinking about it, maybe I don't need to get all 4 of these done, and I can really focus in the next few days just on cleaning. So these are all the things that are kind of like going through my head. Like I said, tonight I have that meeting. Tomorrow during my lunch break, I have a meeting, so I won't be filming during my lunch break. So really my available times to film videos now are tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, because Thursday during my lunch break is when I'm going to pack for Chicago. I could always pack like tomorrow night for Chicago, because I can't film at night anymore now that it gets dark early. So we're just kind of figuring it all out. Okay, I could probably stay on here and ramble for a while. I do want to put some other to-dos on here of like my top priorities. Oh, you know what I also need to do? I need to pick up a prescription before I go to Chicago. That I cannot do on my lunch break because CVS is closed during lunch, but I can do it after work. So it's all these like figuring out the best times to do things kind of situation here. Yeah. I don't know if there's really anything else that absolutely has to get done before leaving. So we're gonna see how it goes. Like I said, it is now 8:50, probably 8:54. It's 8:53. So in the next 7 minutes, I'm just going to put away the stickers from the video I filmed before filming this and then get my day started. So I will check in with you tomorrow. Hope I can get through today. All right, it's Wednesday morning. I keep feeling like it has to be Thursday, but I think it's just because I've had a really productive week and I've been working really hard. And I'm like, with as much as I've gotten done, I feel like I can't believe it's only Wednesday, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing it's only Wednesday. So I got through everything yesterday. I actually also ended up doing laundry and I picked up my prescription. So what happened was I went to vote. There was no line. So I left my house at 1:30. I probably got to the voting booth by 1:35. Then I left and I went to the bank, and I was at the bank longer than I was at the voting booth because there was a long line. And then I had about 20 minutes left before my lunch break ended. So I drove to CVS because at that point it was 2 o'clock and the bank was off of, not the bank, the CVS lunch break was over. So I was able to pick up my prescription and then I got home and I threw in laundry. So I feel really good about the progress that I've been making. What I'm going to write over here is the results of the New Jersey governor election, which is a big election. And all right, our new governor's name. And then let's write wins. I don't know how to spell governor. Govor. Let me see. We're gonna pop my computer open because I don't want to spell this wrong. Governor. Okay, there we go. Now, today's list. So I'm up a little bit earlier today because I knew I really wanted to continue my productivity. So this morning I'm going to film 2 custom spreads, which will be part of one video. Film 2 customs. I want to make a packing list for Chicago. I'm not going to wash bedding until tomorrow. That's really the only thing that's over here, but let's just write pack. I'm also going to write passport. I do not have a real ID. Oops, not password, passport. It's nearly impossible to get a real ID appointment in New Jersey, so I need to not forget my passport and also remind James to not forget his passport. I was debating whether or not I wanted to get a manicure today. I usually get a manicure every 3 weeks, and I think tomorrow will be 2 weeks since I got my last one, and there's a couple of things that I'm debating on. I went darker with my nails. Oh yes, I'm in the same sweatshirt as I was yesterday. I have showered already this morning, but sometimes I wear the same sweatshirt. I went darker with my nails, and when I go darker with my nails, you can see the grow out a little bit more. However, I don't really feel like it's enough to warrant a new manicure. I tend to want to get a manicure right before I go to something big like a planner conference, but also we're 2 weeks away. Friday's 2 weeks away from our engagement photo shoot. And I want to have fresh nails for that. So I think I'm going to skip the manicure this time. We'll go next week. And then I have somewhat fresh nails for the engagement photo shoot. So I think that's what we're going to do. Speaking of engagement photo shoot, I want to text the photographer. Need to figure some things out there. And then regarding my office, because I'm really trying to have my office very clean by the time I get home from Chicago, my office couch is filled with new releases. So I'm just going to write clear couch. I also have a bunch of boxes I haven't opened of some upcoming stuff. So I want to open boxes and get those organized. And then let me look around my office a little bit more. I need to take photos of the citrine collection. So I'm going to write photo citrine. And then what else? We'll leave one more open. Today I have an appointment at my lunch break. So I'm not ashamed of this. I am starting therapy. I feel like I'm in this very busy season right now. I think everyone is. Every year I add more and more to my plate, and I just kind of want to work through navigating all of that. So I'm just going to write that here. This will be my first appointment, but it's with a therapist that I've seen before. So I'm confident that it'll be a good match because it has been in the past. Therapy appointment. I think I'm also surprised it's only Wednesday because this week at work, like at my regular job, has been so insanely busy. I feel like I've barely had a moment to breathe. Like yesterday, I put in laundry and then I didn't have time to switch the laundry. Normally, like my laundry room is right across the hallway from my office. I can normally do that switch in like a minute, but I really have barely had time to get up and, get other things done. So the fact that I've been able to do so much while it being such a busy week at work, I'm really proud of. I feel like I need to make sure to add some other things here because, like, why not? So I can do finalize photo shoot because that's something that I'm going to be reaching out to my photographer about, and then also mailing spreads. If I get these 2 spreads done today, then I only have 2 more left for the month of November, which my goal sort of leading into this week was to finish all of them before Chicago. However, one of them I can't do until after Chicago, and there's a reason for that I'll explain, I guess, when I do that video. The other one there'll now just be one left that I could do beforehand, and I'm going to offer that member an option whether she would like me to do it off camera and then I can give it to her in Chicago, or I can wait until after Chicago, film a video, and then mail it to her. So I'm going to reach out to her shortly and offer those 2 options. So that is my day. I think that's all. I'll check in with you tomorrow. Okay, it is Thursday. It is travel day. Let me talk a little bit about yesterday. I got through customs. I am going to be bringing this spread to Chicago. I didn't do the cleaning that I needed to do or that I wanted to do because like afternoon, maybe around 3:30, I was just exhausted. Work finished. I started packing, like I put together my clothes, and then I just laid on the couch until it was time to go to bed. I was so tired, and I had this light bulb moment like midday yesterday where I said to myself, if I keep pushing at the speed that I've been pushing all week, I'm going to get to Chicago and be exhausted. And I just needed to kind of let go of the non-urgent things and let myself kind of ease into heading to this trip. I also asked my boss if I could work today from 8 to 4 instead of 9 to 5 because we'd like to leave for the airport around 4:30. So making the decision to let go of certain things was just a better call for me. Sorry, I see the sun is coming in a little weird. Let's try to fix that. Nope, it's the other curtain. Okay, that's probably the best we can do right now. So let's finalize the to-do list. So I do need to take this photo. So we're going to photo citrine pack. I'm going to put my passport as a separate item because I just really cannot forget my passport. I also need to send an invoice. and I want to work on my YouTube schedule. So on my Patreon, I post YouTube videos for early access, usually a few days to a couple weeks before they come here live on YouTube. But in order to post them as early access, I need to have them unlisted on YouTube, and then I go back and schedule them. I want to schedule them through the weekend so that I'm not like worrying about whether or not a video went up when it was supposed to. So I just need to work on that schedule. And then today we're also going to wash the bedding. And I don't know if there's anything else. What I can put is charge devices, just making sure that my Kindle, my Mophie, it's like a battery pack, is all charged. Okay, flight info. I write UA, it's United Airlines flight. I can't remember the number, but I'll put it, I don't really need it in this planner. And our flight is at 7:29 p.m. So if we leave at 4:30, it's going to take us about an hour because of traffic to get to the airport. And then we'll get there at 5:30, give a half hour for security, 6 o'clock. Boarding is at 6:40, I think. So we'll be in good timing. So I think that is it. I feel ready. I'm glad that I kind of let go of some things that I had put on my list, and it's okay that they didn't get done, because now I'm feeling a little bit more rested for what's going to be a very busy but fun weekend. Hello, hello. Okay, it is not Sunday, it's Monday. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. That was a lie. Oh my goodness, I'm so turned around. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the last few days. So we're going to go day by day. Well, first of all, let me just say Chicago Planner Conference was amazing. By the time you're seeing this video, I've already posted a swag haul and vendor marketplace haul and all of that. And I'll be doing a memory keeping video talking a lot more in depth about Chicago Planner Conference. So Friday, we've got Chicago Adventures. I'm going to write Atlas Stationers, which is a store I went to. It's funny, I normally put more here, more boxes, so I can write more, but I feel like I never write a lot or never have a lot to write. This time, I feel like I was nonstop in all different places and I could have written so much more. So, Atlas Stationers, I had breakfast with friends, I had lunch with friends, I had dinner with friends. So I'm going to write just Atlas Stationers registration, because this is more the conference type stuff. That's not how you spell registration. Registration and vendor marketplace. Then Saturday, we're going to write, this is really conference day 1. This is kind of conference day 2, and this is conference day 3. So I'm just going to write workshops, sat at JoJo's pretty paper shop table, journaling workshop, and rodeo. There was like a rodeo party at night, which was fun. Okay, now for the spot I need to move. So you may have already heard of this or seen it on Instagram. We did not fly home. We drove home from Chicago. That's actually a Planner Kate sticker, which means I don't even need my undo. Our flight was delayed and there was a storm coming in, and we felt safer. Maybe I do need undo. We felt safer renting a car and driving home than in the air. So normally, this isn't going to work. It should be about a 12-hour drive from Chicago to New Jersey, which is like crazy. I am not a road trip person. But because of the storm that was coming in and the lake effect snow, it took us, well, the total driving time was about 14 hours. We left Chicago around maybe 6. And then we stopped around 1 a.m. in Ohio because it was getting really late and bad weather. So we just stayed at a quick hotel in Ohio, and then Zanesville, Ohio, I think. And then we left around 10 a.m. and got home at about 6 p.m. So it was a long trip, but we got home safely. However, we got home Monday night, not Sunday night. So we both missed work on Monday, unfortunately. So it's Tuesday, we're back in action, and it's a lot. I'm exhausted. So I'm just going to write, we drove home from Chicago. Our original flight did take off. I think it may have landed somewhere between 3 and 4 a.m. But when we got to the airport at 4 o'clock, the flight didn't end up taking off until almost midnight. So it would have just been kind of a gamble of whether or not it would have been taken off or would have taken off. We saw so many people online whose flights were getting canceled. We actually made the news, which was really funny. We made a news segment talking about how we decided just to drive home. But with everything going on with the weather and the government shutdown, it was just kind of miserable at the airport. And I think we made the right decision. So that is the week. And now it's a new week. And I have to write in my planner because it is Tuesday and I have yet to write because I didn't write anything yesterday. So that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed watching me get ready for a conference and then a little bit of a short recap. But stay tuned for memory keeping and all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. And I'll see you next time.